Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. If you can quiet down, please, inshallah. So the host of this competition is here, Brother Ikram. Jazakallah khairan for taking the time to be here. He just came from Masjid, actually, and he's probably tired, but he still came. So we really appreciate him doing that for us. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulullah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa ahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. First of all, for those of you who know, this is pretty much a tradition that Epic has been doing for several years now. A quiz competition in the last 10 nights of the month of Ramadan. It's always a lot of fun, and hopefully you guys have had fun preparing, getting your teams together, studying, and may the best team win today, inshallah. We're going to have first, second, and third place. First place will get a $150 prize, $30 per team member. Second place will get a $100 prize, which is $20 per team member. And third place will be $50 prize, which will be $10 per team member. And the losers, or we'll just say participants, the teams that didn't win, they will get a small goodie bag with some candy in it. But like I always say when it comes to any competition, it's not necessarily about winning or losing, because the fact that you put this effort in and the time in to learn and to become hopefully closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through your learning. There were two sections. There was Sirah, the radiant lamp, and then there was also the Juz' Amma, the first 3 surahs. Okay? And so just by the studying, that in and of itself is a win for you, because you did this and you strove and you took time to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through this learning in the month of Ramadan. And so may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward all of you who spent a lot of time and effort preparing for this competition. Ameen. So I'm going to explain the rules. Guys, if we can keep it down, both the teams and the audience, please. It's very important that we all understand the format of this quiz so that no one's confused after we begin. So how this quiz is going to work is that the first thing we're going to do is draw the order of the teams in which they will be asked the questions. Now the order is really important, because the first team that is picked is, you could say, lucky, because first of all, they'll be asked the first question. Secondly, if there's a team that doesn't know the answer to a question, if they're not answering it in time, although we're not necessarily timing it, but if they get the answer incorrect, then a team is able to steal those points. And the order in which teams get to try to steal points will be based on the order in which they're selected. So just to give you an example, let's just say team 3, whoever that ends up being, it gets the answer incorrect. Then team 1 will get a chance to steal those points. And then the next time a team answers a question incorrectly, then team 2, meaning whichever team is picked second, will get a chance to steal, and so on and so forth, and that cycle will continue. So the order matters quite a bit for that reason. So that's the first thing we're going to do. After we do that, inshallah, we'll begin. Brother Ikram will first go through the Sirah questions. We'll go through all of them. And then we'll have a kind of a score check. And Jad here, Jad Bajur, some of you might know him. He is our official scorekeeper for the day. So he'll be keeping score of all the teams and their, how many points or questions they get correct. And he'll also be keeping track of the order and which team's turn it is now to try to steal the points if a team is unable to answer a question correctly. So I think that's pretty much it, right? Inshallah. Okay, are there any questions or concerns about the format or about anything that's been explained so far? Anyone? Okay, perfect. We request that everyone please stays quiet. If you get a question right, your parents and family members are probably going to start cheering, but that's okay. But let's try to, keep it as controlled as possible. Yes? Good question. Will they lose points at any time? I don't think. So the only situation in which a team may lose points is due to misbehavior. If Brother Ikram gets fed up with one team, he'll be like -10 or whatever. But how we're doing this is that every question that is answered correctly is worth 10 points. And if there's a question that has multiple answers, then based on the number of answers and based on how many you actually answer correctly, you will get a portion of those points. For example, if there's 2 answers to a question and you only answer one correctly but you get the other wrong, you will get half the credit. You will get 5 out of 10 points, for example. And for that type of a question, those points will not have a chance to be stolen because partial answer was given, and then we'll just move on to the next question for the next team. So what we'll do first is, inshallah, we'll have the drawing. Brother Ikram, if you want to, we have a topi here which has all the names of the teams, so he'll draw. And team number 1 will be?
Seekers of Jannah.
Seekers of Jannah. Which team is Seekers of Jannah? Okay, awesome. So that will be the first team.
I would have liked a science team.
Yeah. Okay. Do we have enough? So we need 7. Okay.
Maybe it's too late now.
I think it might be.
So that we
Okay. Where's Faiza? Is Faiz here? Sami, can you do me a favor? Can you grab 7 blank papers from the front office? So Brother Ikram would like every team to have their team name in the front of the table so that he recognizes the teams, inshallah. With that, we'll keep going with the drawing, inshallah. So Seekers of Jannah is team number 1. Brother Ikram. Team number 2. No, we keep drawing until we get the full order, inshallah.
Al-Hikmah.
Al-Hikmah is team number 2. Can you raise your hands? Yes. Okay.
The Dream Team.
Dream Team. Who's that? Okay, that's them. All right, it's all sisters team so far.
Muhsinun.
Muhsinun is them. Okay, one brother's team so far. So that's team number 4. We have 3 more teams, inshallah.
Halal Marshmallows.
Which team is that? In the back. Very creative names, mashallah.
Dudes the Second.
Dudes number 2. That's y'all. We've had some really epic names in the past when it comes to team names. I think the most memorable is E-Lemonators or something like that. Sorry.
What did that say?
Oh, QCA Chaos.
QCA Chaos.
That's Qalam Academy, right? So that's this team. So that is the order. We got order 1 through 7. So I think now we can, inshallah, begin the competition once again. Please, let's try our best to keep it down, keep it quiet so that the teams can concentrate and answer.
So this is
It's different from the other.
okay.
Sorry. Test it out.
Bismillah, Bismillah. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. So welcome to this very epic tradition that we have every year. And this year it seems like the competition itself is very epic. More teams and more exuberance, more enthusiasm. And I hope that we can, throughout the competition, we will keep it orderly and not disrupt the program by raising our voices and talking too much. Of course, you can consult among yourselves, and you will choose a representative from each table to convey the answer of the team rather than everybody is trying to speak. So choose your leader for your teams who will speak on your behalf. Of course, before that person speaks, they will consult among the members of the team. Go ahead. So shall we start or wait? Okay. So without further ado, because I know the Qiyamul Layl time we'll be cutting into that time very quickly, and it really has a way of taking a life of its own. So inshallah, we'll start with the first team, the seekers of Jannah. The first question is, and all of these questions are going to be from the Seerah book that you have studied, the Radiant Lamp, As-Sirajul Munir. The first question is, it's a fill in the blank. To deny Allah's existence is to defy reason and belie the seekers of Jannah. Sorry? To deny Allah's existence is to defy reason and belie the We have 15 seconds for each question. Somebody should be timing it. Okay, I think we are past the 15 seconds. So inshallah, Al-Hikmah, once again, to deny Allah's existence is to defy reason and belie the So the time is up. We will be very judicious and equitable in maintaining this. We have to be fair with everyone, okay? So the next team, the dream team. And I'm not sure that they are dreaming because they seem to be very much alive and awake. All right, so you want the question to be read again? To deny Allah's existence is to defy reason and belie the Speak up. That is not the correct answer. All right, so we'll move to Muhsinun. And you have heard the question several times over, so. Sorry? The truth. That is correct. That is the correct answer. Finally, we are over the hump. This question stopped us. Okay? So the next question is for Al-Hikmah. In this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and how many signs in the heavens and the earth do they pass by, yet their faces away from them. Do you want me to give you what had... Sure. In this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and how many signs in the heavens and the earth do they pass by, yet their faces away from them.
Final answer, turn away.
The turn away, yes, that is the correct answer. Thank you. The dream team, the best way, this is a multiple choice question, and you will pick the right answer. The best way to prove Allah's existence is to ask your heart if Allah exists, to reflect on Allah's creations and His signs, and to debate an atheist and prove her beliefs wrong. The second one, to reflect on Allah's creations and His signs, and that is the correct answer. Muhsinun, In the story of Ashab al-Hudud, the public killing in broad daylight of a young believer by a disbelieving king guided the king's people to in Allah. This is a fill in the blank. Where is the team? In the story of Ashab al-Ukhdud, the public killing in broad daylight of a young believer by disbelieving king guided the king's people to in Allah. To believe in Allah, that is the correct answer.
Halal marshmallows.
And now this is an interesting team, halal marshmallows. So that's in the back over there, okay. This is true or false. Okay, so you have to tell me whether it's true or false. One of the reasons that Allah allows evil is to teach us humility. True or false? True. That is true. Dude, too. Why did the Prophet ﷺ say, amazing are the affairs of the believer? Check one. Because a believer is thankful in good times and patient in bad times. Because a believer always remains in the same state all the time. Because bad times do not make a believer happy, nor the good times sad. The first option that you have chosen says because a believer is thankful in good times and patient in bad times. That is correct. That's the correct answer. The next team, QCA chaos. And I'm not sure what this chaos is about, but inshallah there is no chaos here. True or false? When Allah created the creatures, He wrote in the book, which is with Him over His throne, verily, my mercy prevailed over my wrath. True. That is the correct answer. Seekers of Jannah. True or false? There are also times when Allah lets evil and oppression go unchecked. Time is running. There are also times when Allah lets evil and oppression go unchecked. True, that is correct. Al-Hikmah, true or false? The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that suffering removes a person's sins. We don't have that sign still for the tables, the teams' names. Okay. Okay, we will accept that. You just made it. Okay?
Is it true? Was it true?
Yes. What's the team now?
That was it. The dream team now.
The dream team. Who said this about the Prophet ﷺ? As regards all standards by which human greatness may be measured, we may well ask, is there any man greater than he? Michael Hart, Muhammad Ali, Alfonso de Lamartine. Did you have an answer? What? Muhammad Ali? That is incorrect. The correct answer is Alfonso de Lamartine.
You give them a chance to steal.
I'm sorry?
You're supposed to give the other teams a chance to steal.
Okay, I'm sorry I blew this question, so I'm not going to ask this question again. All right. Muhsinun. When the Prophet ﷺ returned from the cave of Hira after the first revelation, he told his wife Khadija radiallahu anha, I fear for my life. Cover me, cover me. Give me water. Which two answers apply here? Yes. The first two?
Can you repeat it?
The question is, when the Prophet ﷺ returned from Hira after his experience with Jibreel alayhi salam, the first wahi that he received, and he came to Khadija radiallahu anha and he said, and you have to tell me which of these two are true. I fear for my life, cover me, give me water. The first two. That is the correct answer. So he said, لَقَدْ خَشِيتُ عَلَى نَفْسِي and زَمِّلُونِي. Halal marshmallow. The two proper names of the Prophet ﷺ mentioned in the Quran are, what are those two names? I still don't know which team is where, if I had a sign on the table. Okay. The two proper names of the Prophet ﷺ mentioned in the Quran are, what are those two names? Sorry? Yes. Both names. Okay, the time is up. Jazakallah khair. Well, Seekers.
What? No, Seekers of Jannah. They haven't had a chance to steal yet. They didn't have a chance to steal yet.
We're going in order.
Yeah, but on the first question, everybody got a chance.
Because the Seekers of Jannah didn't get a chance to steal yet. They haven't had a chance. They're number one. No, because they still haven't had a chance to steal yet. They're supposed to go first.
All right, inshallah, let us keep this orderly. This Seekers of Jannah, yes. Muhammad and Ahmad. So Muhammad has been mentioned 4 times in the Quran and Ahmad 1 time from the tongue of Isa alayhi salam. Okay, that is the correct answer. Dude 2. This is a quotation mark, and then the question follows. He was the only man in history who was supremely successful on both the religious and secular level. Who said this about the Prophet ﷺ? And Alfonso de Lamartine, Abraham Lincoln, Michael Hart. Michael Hart is the correct answer.
QCA chaos.
QCA chaos. A Muslim prayer is not complete without asking Allah's blessing on the Prophet ﷺ and his. A Muslim prayer, salah, is not complete without asking Allah's blessings on the Prophet ﷺ and his family. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad, right? That's it. Seekers of Jannah. The Prophet ﷺ said that everyone from my nation or my ummah will enter paradise except those who refuse. That is the correct answer. Al-Hikmah mentioned 2 reasons why it is essential for Muslims to study the seerah. any two reasons. And as long as it is a reasonable answer, I will accept it, because this answer is not black and white.
To teach like other like non-Muslims the way the Prophet lives, so there's not as much discrimination against us, and to protect him, and also so we know how to act.
Okay, I will accept those answers.
You want to do a score check? Try to read the score? No.
So you can do that, inshallah. So we are going to announce the preliminary score so far.
Seekers of Jannah have 30. Al-Hikmah has 30. Dream Team 10. Muhsinun 30. Halal Marshmallows 10. Dudes 2 20. QCA Chaos 20. Okay, now Dream Team.
Okay, the next up is Dream Team. In the Islamic belief, Allah accepts an act of worship from Muslims only if it is performed for His sake and according to the of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So fill in the blank. In Islamic belief, Allah accepts an act of worship and ibadah from Muslims only if it is performed for His sake and according to of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, according to the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Muhsinun, when the Prophet Yaqub alayhi salam was dying, he verified from his son that they would worship none other than Allah. Check the correct answer from the following. This is found in a hadith. This is mentioned in the Quran. This is from an Israeli or Israeliyat narration. Which team is that? Muhsinun. The answer given is hadith, but that is not the correct answer. It is in the Quran.
Halal marshmallows.
In Surah Al-Baqarah.
Halal marshmallows have a chance.
Halal.
Halal marshmallows.
Well, this question cannot be
Chance to
asked.
steal.
That we cannot ask this question. So we'll go to the next question.
That's also halal marshmallows.
Yes, I do. This one, or you need more? Okay. Halal marshmallow. Fill in the blank. This is a long hadith, and some of you will remember this when I read this. And you have to provide just one word to complete this statement. The Prophet ﷺ said, "My parable among the prophets is that of a man who built a house and did an excellent and complete job, except for the space of one brick, which he left unfilled. People began to go around the building, admiring it and saying, 'If only that brick were put in its place. Among the prophets, I am that, and the prophets end with me.'" We are filling in the blank. So where I stopped, so let me read this again. The Prophet ﷺ said, "My parable among the prophets is that of a man who built a house and did an excellent and complete job, except for the space of one brick which he left unfilled. People began to go around the building, admiring it and saying, 'If only that brick were put in place. Among the prophets, I am that blank, and the prophets end with me.'" So think about the house the Prophet ﷺ is talking about. Okay, so the last part, which actually has the question, "Among the prophets I am like that, and the prophets end with me." Okay. So I have restrained myself from giving out the correct answer, but your answer is not correct. You said there is space. So I will preserve this question for the next team. Yes, next team. Dude. I am that brick. Because the Prophet ﷺ is talking about leaving a brick in that building. And he said, I am that brick. The building of the prophethood, the risala, the nabuwa, and that I am that brick. Okay, next team. Still?
Yeah, because they just stole. Not their action.
Okay. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said he is closest to this person. This is blank. This is not. He is closest to this person in this world and the hereafter. The Prophet ﷺ said he is closest to blank in this life or in this world and the hereafter. That is not the correct answer.
Go to
Halal, sorry? The answer given was Abu Bakr radiallahu anh, and that is not the correct answer. This is directly from a hadith. Halal marshmallow, same question. The Prophet ﷺ said he is closest to this person, that is the blank here, in this world and the hereafter. Sorry, I cannot hear you. Your answer is Khadija radiallahu anha, and that is not the correct answer.
The person with the great character.
The person with great character, that is not this hadith talking about. Yes, there is also something like that, but that statement is only about Jannah. I'm closest to that person in Jannah, but here the hadith says I'm closest to this person in this life and the hereafter. Seekers of Jannah. Isa alayhi salam. Yes, that is correct. Isa alayhi salam. And he is closest also that after Isa alayhi salam, the next prophet that came is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. QCA chaos. The Prophet ﷺ said to his companions that deeds are judged by last actions. Explain what is meant by that. Yes, this one. The Prophet ﷺ said that deeds are judged by last actions. Explain what it means.
So when you're first born, the azan is in your ear. Then when you pray salah, they say the azan. Then at your janazah, they also do it. And then in your prayer, they ask about the
So that is not the answer, but I know that is not the context here of that question either. Al-Hikmah? Speak up a little bit, please. Yes, that is the correct answer. So, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالْخَوَاتِيمِ. As the Prophet ﷺ said, a person's last actions really, a person could be a sinner in the early life, but then he becomes a very pious person and vice versa. So that's why we ask that, oh Allah, give us a good end, because that's what matters. Seekers of Jannah. When the Prophet ﷺ arrived in Medina, he wrote a charter in which he called all citizens of this city blank. Fill in the blank. When the Prophet ﷺ arrived in Medina, he wrote a charter in which he called all citizens of the city as one ummah. That is correct answer. Next team. Al-Hikmah, in 2007, Muslim scholars published an open letter to the people of the book, calling it a common between Muslims and them. Common word, yes, common word. That is the correct answer. Dream team. Muslims consider Christians and Jews to be the people blank. People of the book, Ahlul Kitab. Jazakallah khair. Correct answer. Muhsinun. The Christian king Najashi treated the Muslims very blank. It's a two-part blank. The Christian king Najashi treated the Muslim immigrants very blank and them to worship Allah freely. Very kindly, that is, and allowed them. That is correct. So the full sentence reads, the Christian king Najashi treated the Muslim immigrants very kindly and allowed them to worship Allah freely. Halal marshmallow. Who were the two non-Muslims who helped the Prophet ﷺ and Abu Bakr radiallahu anh at the time of the Hijrah? Two non-Muslims. Which team is that? Speak up. Abu Talib has died by this time. But by the time of the Hijrah of the Prophet ﷺ, he has died.
Give it to Dream Team.
So, say again?
Ahmed bin. Ahmed bin.
So, but your time is up. 15 seconds are gone. And inshallah, we will not disclose what you said. You were heading somewhere, but the time ran out. Dream Team. Let me repeat the question. Who were the two non-Muslims who helped the Prophet ﷺ and Abu Bakr radiallahu anh during the Hijrah? Time is over? Okay, time is up. Muhsinun. Amir bin Fuhaira. Abdullah bin Arqad. The answer is correct. So Amir bin Fuhaira is the shepherd, the freed slave of Abu Bakr radiallahu anh, and Abdullah bin Arqad or Urayqat, according to some other historians, he was the guide of the Prophet ﷺ, and he was chosen by Abu Bakr radiallahu anh because he was the most knowledgeable about the byways and the highways of that area. Dudes, right? Next question. True or false? When the Prophet ﷺ was returning from Ta'if, he realized he couldn't enter Mecca without someone providing physical protection to him, and so he asked Abu Bakr to become his protector. True or false?
False.
That is, although it is false, but it is the correct answer. Okay? Just a little play on that word. Next.
QCA chaos.
QCA chaos. True or false? Allah allows Muslim men to marry only Muslim women. False. That is the correct answer. Score check. Yes. So Jad has preliminary score.
Seekers of Jannah, 50. Al-Hikmah, 50. Dream Team, 30. Muhsinun, 50. Halal Marshmallows, still at 10. Dudes, Part 2, 40. QCA Chaos, 30. So Seekers of Jannah, Al-Hikmah, and Muhsinun are tied for first. Dream Team and QCA Chaos are tied for second. Oh no, Dudes Part 2 is second. Dream Team and QCA Chaos are tied for third. And Halal Marshmallows are just down there.
All right, who's the next team?
Who just answered? Oh, this one? Seekers of Jannah.
Seekers of Jannah. Okay. The first experience of Muslims living as a minority in a foreign land was in the country known back then as. So in other words, what is the name of the country? I'm just paraphrasing this question. What is the name of the country in the time of the Prophet ﷺ to which the Muslims had migrated? Is that your turn? Abyssinia or Habasha? Okay. And today it's called Ethiopia. Okay, so that's the correct answer. Al-Hikmah, the first part is blank. So that's what you have to do. Okay? So he was appointed the spokesperson of the immigrants when they went to Habasha or Abyssinia. Who is that person? So who is the person? Let me just paraphrase this. Who is the person whom the immigrants to Habasha had chosen to speak on their behalf?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Time is up.
Give it to still last time. Dream Team. Then I went to Muhsinun.
Muhsinun? Muhsinun?
Halal Marshmallows.
Halal marshmallow? Okay, right there.
What? Jeff. Can you speak louder?
Ja'far bin Abi Talib. That is the correct answer. He is a brother of Ali radiallahu anh, and he spoke. Dream Team. The Quraysh sent a 2-man delegation to Najashi to ask him to, and you have to select the correct answer, to ask him to keep the immigrants in Abyssinia, or to send the immigrants back to Mecca, or to grant the immigrants citizenship of Abyssinia. Which one is true? To send them back to Mecca. That is the correct answer. Muhsinun, discuss how the Prophet ﷺ's hadith describes the relationship between the old and the young. Discuss how the Prophet ﷺ has described the relationship between the old and the young. So you should respect your elders and be kind to the young ones. The Prophet ﷺ said he is not one of us who is not respectful to his elders and is not kind to the young ones. So that is the correct answer. Which team is next?
No, yeah. You're like Halal Marshmallows and you guys, because they stole.
you have. There's another team right before you, then you guys are next. Halal marshmallows are next. Halal marshmallows.
Halal marshmallow? Ready for this question? Allah has called the story of this prophet. Allah has called the story of this prophet as Ahsanul Qasas, the best of stories. Who is this prophet and what happened to him when he was a young boy? So he was Yusuf alayhi salam, and his brothers threw him in a well. That is the correct answer. Next team. Dudes 2. In your opinion, are the Muslim youth today more serious about their religion than the youth of your father's generation? If yes, how? If not, why not? And we will accept any reasonable answer.
As long as it's reasonable.
Yeah.
So any answer?
Any reasonable answer, yes.
We have 15 seconds for this, right?
10 now. 10.
It depends. Yes, because yes, because we are forced to actually focus on our religion because our parents' generation lived overseas, and over there they took it for granted basically because Islam was basically a given for them. But for us, we actually have to work hard to know about our religion and stuff like that. But this also works the other way around because some of us are pressured by the society to forget about it. But mostly, like as you can see from the youth in this masjid over here, we enjoy we feel connected to religion. It's not a given for us. Is that a good answer?
Well, it's a reasonable answer. I wouldn't call it a very good answer, but as I said, there are some questions where I would like your analytical abilities to be exercised. Next team. QCA Chaos. At age 19, this person was chosen by the Prophet ﷺ to lead an army against the Romans. Usama bin Zayd, that is the correct answer. Seekers of Jannah. In the theological sense, how is emigration to a country for worldly reasons different from the Prophet's migration to Medina? Okay, so Khadija's answer is that the Prophet ﷺ came to Medina, the hijrah was for religious reason, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There can be also other migrations or hijrah in the literal sense for other reasons, to marry someone, to find a job, and therefore they are fall into two different categories, and we will accept that answer. Al-Hikmah. Why is the hijrah one of the most significant events in the seerah? How did Caliph Omar honor the hijrah? It's a two-part question, right? So why the hijrah is so significant, and why did Omar choose hijrah as the beginning of and how did he honor this event? Sorry, I almost. So the Hijri calendar started. Okay. We'll accept it. And also, the second part of the question is, what is the second? What is your answer to that one? Why it's so significant? Hijrah. So second part has already been answered, right? So the first part is why it's so significant. So Umar radiallahu anhu honored it by starting the Hijri calendar. But Why it's so significant? Say again? I can't hear you.
That's when the calendar started.
That's the second part of the answer, right?
You don't have? Your time's over.
Time is over, so we'll give you half the mark. And
Steal the other part.
no, I will give you the answer for the other half. So this hijrah is so significant because it's a journey to seek religious freedom. Just like the pilgrims came to America to escape the tyranny of the Church of England, the Prophet ﷺ was moving to Medina to convey Islam and to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala freely. So that's why and there are many other reasons. Dream Team, what were the three ideas the Quraysh discussed in Darun Nadwa to deal with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? What were the three conspiracies or three actions they were planning against the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam before he migrated to Medina in their secret meeting? Which team is that? To what? I'm sorry. To bribe him to the Prophet ﷺ? Okay, and this, by the way, this answer is provided in Surah Al-Anfal. The three things that they were planning are Time is over?
First, they have an answer.
You have an answer? I cannot hear.
What is it? Bribe him to kill him.
Okay, so we have a so one part is acceptable, to kill him. Bribing part is not in Darun Nadwa. Yes, it is from the early part of the Seerah where they said, if you need money, we will make you the wealthiest person. If you want to marry, if this is why you are doing this, meaning preaching Islam, then we will marry you to the most beautiful person, and so on and so forth. But this is early part. We're talking about Darun Nadwa. This is the consultative team committee that is meeting to discuss the problem that the Prophet ﷺ, in their opinion, has created for the society and how to get rid of him. So I think I'm not going to allow another team to give two other correct answers from this question, so I'll just shelve this question. But the other two answers, the Surah Al-Anfal talks about exiling him, killing him, or imprisoning him. These were the three suggested, and they settled on killing him, and that's why they plotted to kill the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, who's the next team? Muhsinun. If Allah wanted to, He could have sent Angel Jibreel to airlift the Prophet ﷺ and other Muhajirun and safely drop them in Medina, but He let them go through hardships of this migration from Mecca to Medina. Why? To make them strive, to test them, and also to tell them that there is no free lunch. Even the prophets of Allah have to strive, and the Prophet ﷺ shed his blood in Ta'if and in Uhud and so on and so forth. So that is the correct answer. Halal marshmallow. What wisdom do you see behind Allah not legislating a certain numerical age for a woman's marriage? So why Islam did not fix the youngest marriage age for a woman? I know it's a little... Huh? So let your lead speak on your behalf. So you are saying that the marriage is tied to maturity or age of puberty. Okay, we'll accept that answer. It came slowly, but surely. All right, next team. Dude. This wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and this is the blank here. This wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the only one who was not previously married. Aisha radiallahu anha, and that is the correct answer. Chaos, QCA chaos. Aisha radiallahu anha was shown to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in a blank, telling him that she will be his wife.
Dream.
In a dream. She was shown to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in a dream. Seekers of Jannah. The young age of Aisha radiallahu anha at the time of her marriage to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has been one of the favorite targets of attack against him by the blank. By who? Yes, we can accept that Islamophobes, Orientalists, enemies who have attacked the Prophet ﷺ. Al-Hikmah, the next question. Which of the Prophet's wives were not from the tribe of Quraysh? Name the wives and where they came from. Right, so we'll stop here and you go to the... Say again? Aisha radiallahu anha was from the Quraysh. Okay, dude. And we will accept so far what you have said, well said. So Safiya radiallahu anha, Safiya bint Huway bin Akhtab was from Bani Nadir, and then Juwayriya radiallahu anha was from Banu al-Mustaliq. So we will take a pause here. You're saying something. Okay.
We can take like a 1 or 2 minute break.
Okay. So I. So we have 5 more questions about the seerah before we move to Juz Amma. Okay? So the next team is the dream team. Explain why the Quran talks about brotherhood but not sisterhood. Can you hear? Can you hear?
She said like the same. They're like the same thing.
She said they're the same thing and they don't need to specify sister or brother.
So okay, let me paraphrase this. So are you saying that when the Quran mentions brotherhood, sisterhood is implied and it's included in it? Is that what you're saying? If you're saying that, then the answer is correct. Thank you. Muhsinun? What was the purpose behind the brotherhood al-mu'akhah that the Prophet ﷺ had created among the Muhajirun and the Ansar? Check one answer. To help the Muhajirun who had left their homes and wealth in Mecca and who needed financial and other support to survive in Medina. That's one. To make the Ansar feel honored and see to settle the feud between the Muhajirun and the Ansar. Which is the team? The first one is the correct answer. Halal marshmallow. The Prophet ﷺ said, help your brother whether he is an oppressor or oppressed. How did the Prophet ﷺ say we could help an oppressor? Because the Sahaba said, Ya Rasulullah, we understand helping the oppressed, but what if my brother is an oppressor, how can we help him? So what was the answer of the Prophet ﷺ? Making dua for them? That is not the correct answer. Sorry? Next team. QCA. Huh? The question is, the Prophet ﷺ said, help your brother whether he is an oppressor or oppressed. And the Sahaba said, how can we help our brother who is an oppressor? And the Prophet ﷺ told them how. What was his answer? Help them understand what they are doing wrong. But that's not what the Prophet ﷺ said.
Seekers of Jannah.
Seekers of Jannah. By stopping him from oppression. And that is what the Prophet ﷺ said. That's the correct answer. Next team. Dudes. Who were the people of the shed or Ashabu Suffa? Who were the people of the shed?
When the Makkah system kind of ran out of people, there were the people that basically lived in the Masjid and stayed in the Makkah system. And it was kind of like in school
So the poor people and who also wanted to study and learn from the Prophet ﷺ by staying in the masjid. They were the Ashab Sufa. Okay. Next team. QCA, chaos. Name the most famous person from the people of the shed, Ashab Sufa, and explain his contribution to the field of hadith. Abu Hurairah radiyallahu an. So he has narrated the most hadith among men. Okay, we'll accept that answer. That's it? So Sira question, we will take a break from Sira questions. And score check now.
Seekers of Jannah are at 90. Al-Hikmah is at 55. Dream Team is at 50. Muhsinun are at 80. Halal Marshmallows are at 40. Dudes Part 2 are at 80. QCA Chaos are at 60. So Seekers of Jannah are in first. Muhsinun and Dudes are tied for second. And then QCA Chaos is in third.
All right, so inshallah, we will start asking questions from Surah Naba. Okay, the first question for Seekers of Jannah. What is meant by An-Naba al-Azim? And what is it referring to? So it's a two-part question. What is meant by An-Naba al-Azim? And what is it referring to? Sorry. The great news, An-Naba al-Azim, and it's referring to the day, coming of the Day of Judgment, and that is the correct answer. Al-Hikmah, where was this surah revealed? Is it a Makki surah or a Madani surah? It's a Makki surah. That is the correct answer. Next team. The Dream Team. What is the word Siraja referring to in the surah? Or Sirajan, more appropriately. Which is the team? The time is over. Al-Hikmah. The word Sirajan or Siraja referred to in this surah, Surah An-Naba. What does that mean? Yes.
Al-Hikmah was you guys stole before. They're answering. What? A long period of time.
That a long period of time is not the correct answer for the word Sirajan. Mahsanun. Sorry? The sun. Yes. Siraj, the lamp or the sun. Okay. Another question for Muhsinun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says He created sleep as a means of subat or subata. And what is the meaning of that, correct? To rest. So He's created sleep for resting. That is the correct answer. Who's the next team? Halal marshmallow. What is the word al-mu'sirat referring to in the surah? Time is up.
They said the time. That's the answer.
Oh, you said the time? No, it doesn't mean the time. Dream team?
Question.
The word al-mu'sirat, what does that mean? Time is up.
Go to
Dudes? The clouds. وَأَنزَلْنَا مِنَ الْمُعْصِرَاتِ مَاءً ثَجَّاجًا. Okay, that's good. Next question for dudes. In this ayah, what is meant by ar-ruh? يوم يقوم الروح والملائكة صفا. So you're saying that this refers to Jibreel alayhi salam?
this one, the one he's asking about.
I'm asking about ar-ruh. So here it's referring to Jibreel alayhi salam. QCA chaos. Why will the disbeliever at the end of Surah Naba mention, I wish I were dust? Okay, so the answer given here is this ayah, وَيَقُولُ الْكَافِرُ يَا لَيْتَنِي كُنْتُ تُرَابًا, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will establish justice among animals, and after He settles their scores, then He will turn them into dust, and the disbelievers will see this and they will wish that if they were also dust, so that there will be no accountability for them and no punishment for them. After this will be the end of their story. So this is the correct answer. Seekers of Jannah. What are the two kinds of food mentioned for the disbelievers in Surah Naba? So you are the team? Okay, I'm sorry, I get confused. Where is the team? Okay, what is the answer? Hamimun wa ghassaqa. So boiling water and the pus from wounds. Okay, next question. Al-Hikmah. Surah Naba specifically mentions one reason for the disobedience of the disbelievers, and that is إِنَّهُمْ كَانُوا لَا يَرْجُونَ حِسَابًا. What is the translation? Say one more time. Say one more time. So that is not quite the answer that we are looking for here. Halal marshmallow. The question is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Surah Naba specifically mentions one reason for the disobedience of the disbelievers. And that reason, and I'm only asking for translation, the reason is already given here. إِنَّهُمْ كَانُوا لَا يَرْجُونَ حِسَابًا. So this is not about, well, This is not the answer.
QCA chaos.
QCA? Chaos? So they did not believe that they will be held accountable for their denial. That is the correct answer. Dream Team in Surah Naba, the hisab for the believers is described as, and give me the, I guess we are seeking the Arabic or the translation? The Arabic. So what is the Arabic ayah that says this is the hisab of the believers? Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Time is up.
Go to Seekers of Jannah.
Seekers of Jannah. The question is, in Surah Naba, the hisab for the believers, the hisab for the believers is described as, and I need the Arabic, jaza'an min rabbika ata'an hisaba. That is the correct answer. Al-Hikmah?
No, right now it's
Muhsinun in Surah Naba, believers. Yes, I had misspoken and I corrected myself. Yes. Okay, the word, and this is often the tajweed issue here, that people prolong it, amma. So the word amma yatasa'alun. So what is the word amma made of? It is made of two particles, two parts. So I would like you to tell us what are those two parts that make the word amma. Who is the team? An ma. That is the correct answer. Halal marshmallow. In amma yatasa'alun, who are the people specifically being addressed? Sorry? I can't hear him. The disbelievers? That is the correct answer. Dudes. What is the meaning of saraba? Time. What is the meaning of the word saraba? It's mirage. Mirage? Okay. A deception. Okay, we'll accept that. Optical illusion literally means to disappear. QCA? At-taghin means or refers to what? I cannot hear you.
The one who crosses all limits and transgresses, it refers to the disbelievers.
Okay, we'll accept that. So the answer is a person who has crossed all bounds, all limits, and it also refers to the disbelievers. Huh? Score check.
Seekers of Jannah are at 120. Al-Hikmah, 65. The Dream Team, 50. Muhsinun, 90. 110. Halal Marshmallows, 50. Dudes are at 110. QCA chaos is at 70, 80, 90.
Okay, seekers of Jannah, and the next set of questions will be from Surah An-Naziyat. List the 5 names by which angels are referred to in Surah Naziyat. 5 names. Arabic, yes. Okay, what are they? An-Naziyat. Time is up. Okay, nobody has cell phones, right, with them, right? No? Because it will be a tragedy if somebody were teaching an Islamic studies test, cheating in Islamic studies test, right? Okay. So you gave us 3. And the bell rang, you were still saying it? Okay, we will go by the rule that when the adhan is called and you have a morsel of food in your mouth, you can chew it and finish it, right? So just go ahead and finish it. Okay, one more time. The 5 names. Okay, that is the correct answer. The next question for Al-Hikmah. What are the 2 words that are used in Surah Naziyat that refer to the first and the second blowing of the trumpet? Okay, Dream Team. What are the 2 words used in Surah Naziyat that refer to the first and the second blowing of the trumpet? Sorry? No, that was for the question before, the names of the angels, right? We're talking about the blowing of the trumpet. Time. Muhsinun. Where are they? Okay. Radifa. Okay. What's the second word? Rajifa and Radifa. That is the correct answer. Okay. Dream Team. In the back there. What was the crime of Fir'aun as described in Surah Naziyat? Time up.
Al-Hikmah.
Al-Hikmah. The question is, what was the crime of Fir'aun in Surah Naziyat? What did he do, or what did he say? He said that he was. So I'm looking for, should we look for Arabic? We will accept it. We'll accept it. He said, Ana Rabbukumul A'la. I am the Lord High, the Most High, right? Ana Rabbukumul A'la. Okay, we will accept that. Muhsinun. What are the two characteristics of the believer mentioned in Surah Naziyat that allowed him to enter Jannah? Or that would allow him to enter Jannah? So, yes. Say again. Okay, so they feared standing before Allah and they restrained themselves from evil desires. So that is the correct answer. وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ وَنَهَى النَّفْسَ عَنِ الْهَوَى. Okay. Next question for halal marshmallow. What are the two traits of the disbeliever mentioned in Surah Naziyat? And if you can tell me in Arabic or the translation, that will be fine. Yes, you can read the Arabic as well. But the time is up, so it doesn't help. Dudes. I'm sorry, this name sounds funny, but I have to say it. This is not. The question is, what are the two traits of the disbeliever mentioned in Surah Naziyat? فَأَمَّا مَنْ طَغَى وَآثَرَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا. Okay, we'll accept that. Next question for dudes. The angels who remove the souls of the believers are referred to as the angels who remove the soul of the believers are referred to as An-Nazi'at. That is not the correct answer. The word halal marshmallow. The angels who remove the souls of the believers are called by this name in this surah. What's the time? Yes? Okay, I think time is up. QCA. An-Nashitat. Nashta. Okay. So next question for you. The word as-sahira refers to the question is, what is the meaning of the word as-sahira in this surah? Time up. Seekers of Jannah. This, okay, so the level plane or the surface of the earth, that will accept that as a correct answer. So another question for you.
See how many questions are left.
All right, so we are quite some ways into the competition, and we'll do 2 more rounds. So each team will have an opportunity to answer at least one question, and if they answer one question correctly, then they will be put another question too. And after that, inshallah, we will have the final scores tabulated and announced. And these questions will be all from Juz Amma, and I will skip some, and I may not necessarily go in the same order. Yes. In the question of a tie, and then we will, ask additional questions to break the tie. Seekers to Jannah. So question is, whose statement is this and in which surah? So the Arabic says يَقُولُونَ إِنَّا لَمَرْدُودُونَ فِي الْحَافِرَةِ or حَفِرَةِ. I think it's حَافِرَةِ. Right. What surah is this? Naziyat. And so the disbelievers are, the idol worshippers are saying this, and that is the correct answer. Al-Hikmah. Okay, so there are 3 surahs. Al-Hikmah, right? Where is Al-Hikmah? Here, right there. There are 3 surahs that mention a particular word to refer to the Day of Judgment. So one surah is Surah An-Naba and Surah Naziyat and Surah Abasa. So what are the 3 names, and in which surah is that name for the Day of Judgment used? So give me the surah and the name that surah uses for the Day of Judgment. Something like, or okay. As-Sakha. That's what it is? Okay. And what else? What is that? So we are looking for the Arabic term. So I think the time is up. We'll give them 5 points. The Dream Team is next. The Dream Team. Same question for you. Then.
You want to steal?
Or
They already give half, so move on to the next one.
So okay, we'll move to the next question. The Dream Team. Okay. This should be an easy question. Name the holy valley that Musa alayhi salam was invited to come to by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The holy valley. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you. We take that as an answer. Mohsenoon, what is the holy valley? Tuwa. Okay. Wadi al-Muqaddas. Tuwa. Okay. That is the correct answer. Mohsenoon, the next question for you is while the Prophet ﷺ was, this is from Surah Abasa, while the Prophet ﷺ was talking to the leaders of the Quraysh, this person, the blind companion, came to him asking a question. So name that blind companion. Say again. Ibn Maktoum. Abdullah ibn Maktoum. That is the correct answer. Halal marshmallow. Why did Abdullah ibn Maktoum interrupt the Prophet ﷺ while he was engaged in conversation with the pagan? So because he was blind and he did not see what the Prophet ﷺ was doing. So we'll accept that answer. Dudes. Habasa lists 2 primary benefits that are derived through interaction with the Quran. What are the 2 primary benefits that one can derive through interaction with the Quran? Dudes, right? Yes?
Not you guys.
And you guys? Yes. What are the 2 primary benefits one can derive from interaction with the Quran? Say again?
Say it again.
No, yeah. Yazakka. Okay. Okay, let me change the question so that there is no confusion here.
They got it wrong. So move on to the next team. Okay, it's the last question. QCA chaos.
Okay, so
They got that wrong. Now it's QCA chaos.
okay, so we'll
No, that was
drop this question. Okay, the next question for the QCA is, It's a last question, and it's a new question because I gave part of the answer. وَأَمَّا مَنِ اسْتَغْنَى, who is being referred to here in this surah? The Quraysh leaders. Yes. That's it. So this concludes our exciting competition, and inshallah we will announce the results in just a few minutes.
Assalamu alaikum. For the teams who are competing, we're just going to announce the winners real quick. I know people are already heading to the rows for Qiyam, which is starting at 2:30. Yeah. So inshallah, Jad is going to announce it. We had a tie for first place. So it's first place, 2 teams, and then we have another team that is second place, or you could say third place.
Third place is Dudes, Part 2, with the score of 120. And the 2 teams that tied for first are Seekers of Jannah and Muhsinun with a score of 150. So they will split the first and second place prize, and they'll each get $125. Jazakallah khairan.
So the teams who tied will get 125 each, and the third place team will get 50, inshallah. Jazakallah khairan to you all for competing. We hope that it was fun and beneficial, and we'll see you next year. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
charge will be a problem. You need to keep this as a backup.